I spent a few days in Montreal visiting my sister, so welcome to the Montreal vlog. Day one was a big travel day for me, so by the time I actually got to Montreal, I was expecting the day to be over and just a chill night, but that's when my mom and sister were waiting for me to just start the day. So we ended up going and walking around downtown a little bit, and then we ended up in Old Montreal. I got to go to the little duck shop. Crazy how many ducks are in one shop. Are people buying this many ducks all the time? It was really cool seeing the little Taylor Swift duck as well. And then we just kind of went exploring and looked at some gift shops and knickknacks and, you know, all the fun stuff. Did some window shopping. Old Montreal is gorgeous. I want to live there. Bevo, which was a little Italian restaurant in Old Montreal. Incredible pizza. I think it's now my favorite pizza in all of Canada so far that I've tried. So amazing pizza. Highly recommend going to Bevo if you're ever in Old Montreal. And then of course I had to stop at Indigo. This was the downtown Montreal Indigo and it was beautiful. There's 2 floors and it's I think attached to a mall, but upstairs there was like a piano, a cafe. It was really cute and I walked around, I browsed a little bit, and I do end up coming back to this bookstore a few other times in the vlog, so we will see it a little bit more, but we ended up going home after that. That was the end of day 1. We ended up going to Joie de Livre, and this had been on my list to come visit at Montreal for like a long time, and I'm so happy I got to see it in person. Essentially, you walk in, there's 2 big walls of books on either side. Then the middle section is an entire cafe, and honestly, their coffee was incredible. And then towards the back, after the cafe, there's a huge book section. So browsed around for a little bit. I think it was mainly just like fantasy romance, sci-fi, that kind of thing. There were some kids' books towards the back. I got to see the iconic Joie de Livre sign and bench. The cafe is beautiful and such a cozy, comfortable spot to read. One of my favorite places, and probably a place that I will go and visit every time I go back to Montreal. First time we went to Crew Cafe the first day, it was closed, so we ended up going back on day 3 and it was absolutely stunning. It's inside an old bank, so the ceilings, the architecture, everything about it is absolutely beautiful. The atmosphere here and just the setting and surroundings, it just felt like the perfect spot to sit and read. I've not talked to you since being in Montreal, but it's been such a fun trip. The only ever times that I've come to Montreal before were in the winter, and it was for like a quick stop on the way to somewhere. So I've only ever seen Old Montreal during the winter time, and I didn't really explore much, but I've been exploring so much, and it just feels like a bigger city than what I remember. But I can't believe how stunning Old Montreal is. Someone who loves Italy, being in Europe, I absolutely love Old Montreal. It really gives me that feeling of Europe in Canada. Like when people say Montreal is the Europe of Canada, specifically Old Montreal, like there is validity to that statement. But I have been loving being here, visiting my sister, being able to explore the city a little bit more. I've been filming on a new camera, by the way. It's the DJI Osmo Nano. That's what we're filming on right now. It's great because I can stick it to literally any surface. It's been incredible. I go back home tomorrow. I actually ran into Bestie Maddie on the streets of Montreal downtown, like out of all places. It was crazy. I had like a very brief conversation. I am going to be completely honest. I blacked out for that entire conversation. I did not know what to say to her. The whole thing just felt like a haze, like a dream. What are the odds of running into each other on the same street? Was not expecting that. Was totally thrown off. That was really cool. One of my favorite booktubers, one of my comfort booktubers. I looked like crap when I met her because I wasn't expecting to meet her. That was crazy, but I have been having such a good time here. We're going to head out to Old Montreal. I've seen so many amazing, incredible places. I really, really love Joie de Livre. Their coffee was so good. I got a cappuccino from there and it was incredible. I also really liked Crew Cafe. The coffee, I think Joie de Livre had better coffee, but the aesthetic and the vibe of Crew Cafe, like if you ever come here, you definitely need to go check it out. It's beautiful. It's in an old RBC building. So it's an old banking building. Everything is so beautiful. Everything is so European feeling, and it's been really great being here. I'll hopefully be back at some point before my sister leaves the city, but it's just been such an incredible experience. That's the update. I am going to be going to Joie de Livre one more time again. I just want to go and get another cappuccino. It was so good. And the vibe of it was so cool. Like you walk in, it's a bookstore, then you have like a little cafe seating area in the middle, and then the other end with like the nice sofa and everything that's also part of the bookstore. That's the plan, is to go back to Joie de Livre. Me and my mom are going to head out to Joie de Livre. I'm currently reading Valentine in Montreal. I read a book by this author, Heather O'Neill, back in university. It was called Lullaby for Little Criminals, I think. And that one was devastating. It was so sad. I forgot that one was based in Montreal as well. But I've said this in one of my travel vlogs before. I think it was my Halifax one, that wherever I go to a place, my souvenir is now a book that's set in that place or a book by an author that's from that place. So that's kind of what I've been doing instead of collecting like t-shirts or whatever. I've been doing that. So I just started it last night and then I fell asleep. So haven't gotten pretty far into it, but it is a short book. My last day here. So I'm hoping I can start it, finish it all in one day. We'll see how it goes. That's it for me right now. Hopefully I'll get to check in a little bit later as well. I've loved being in the city. It was so cool to see Maddie. I will check in hopefully in a little bit when we're at the cafe. That's all I have for now. I'm really loving the trip so far and I'm excited to explore a little bit more today, and then it'll be really sad when I leave tomorrow, but I'm excited to see my family and my kids and everybody tomorrow. So ended up wrapping up the Montreal vlog, so I thought we could do that right now. I thought we could first talk a little bit about the books that I was reading throughout the vlog. One of the books that I was reading was on one of my TBRs. I went to Montreal back in June. It's now August, so wrapping this up a little bit late, but I think it was on my June TBR. It was Love Gelato by Jenna Evans Welsh. I ended up DNFing that. I thought that I was gonna like it because there was also a movie on Netflix that I really wanted to see, so I really wanted to read the book first. However, I think it was just written way too young for me. We were just being told everything instead of just us as the readers being able to interpret things and kind of fill in gaps. That kind of took away from the overall story for me. I just found it to be very repetitive, so it wasn't really my cup of tea. So I did end up DNFing that. In terms of the rest of the series, I think based on that one, I probably won't end up continuing the series and I might end up unhauling it. I did switch over to reading one of the books that I bought while I was there on the trip, and that was Valentine in Montreal. Now I don't have the physical copy with me. When we were in Montreal, my mom, my sister, and I, we all said we'll read that together. It'll be a kind of like our book club book. I think my mom ended up finishing it, and then I was reading it on the last day I was there. I couldn't really get into it. It was nothing to do with like the book or anything like that. It was just I was with my mom and my sister, and we were doing so much because my sister was just moving in and we were getting her moved in and just spending time together because I don't get to see them often. So we were doing so much that I just didn't get a chance to fully get into it. I did read a little bit of it, but I ended up leaving it for my sister so she could read it, and then I'll just read it when I have time. She doesn't have very many books there. Like she has a few books I think that she bought while she was there. I have tons of books at home that I can read, so I might pick it up at a later point in the year. I couldn't fully get into it. It was just such a busy time while we were there, so I ended up leaving that one. So it was kind of like a soft DNF, I guess. So I didn't end up doing too much reading on the trip. I do have some other books that I bought. The first one is Dolly All the Time by Annabelle Monahan. Now I love Annabelle Monahan's writing. I love her stories. They have depth to them. My first ever video on this channel was an Annabelle Monahan reading vlog, so I have like a very special place in my heart for her and her stories. I heard incredible things about Dolly All the Time. I feel like because it's August, it'd be nice to get to it soon. I am in like a huge fantasy mood right now. I just feel like with the end of summer and fall season right around the corner, something about that is just making me really want to pick up fantasy books. I also did pick up Trope Sick by Lauren Oakey. Now I know that her book, The Best Worst Thing, that one kind of blew up a little bit last year and I've heard really good things about it. And when this one came out, I was like, okay, I'll read this one first. I'll go back to The Best Worst Thing because first of all, I could not find The Best Worst Thing anywhere. It was never in stores. I think you can order it off Amazon, but I wanted to kind of get it at a store. But because this one was a new release, it was out and they had it everywhere. So I ended up picking it up. I have heard mixed things about this one. I know a lot of people loved The Best Worst Thing, and there's a few mixed reviews about this one compared to that. I think a lot of people were expecting somewhat of a similar kind of feeling that The Best Worst Thing gave them, and it didn't necessarily give them that in this, but either way, I am excited to get into her writing. I have since bought The Best Worst Thing, and so I think I will start with that one. I just feel like I'm in the mood for either an emotional read or a fantasy romance that's high stakes. And then the third book I got, I wasn't planning on getting this book anytime soon. I've heard really, really great things about it, but I was like, I have so many fantasy books on my TBR right now, like I don't need to be getting a book. And then I saw it in person at Indigo, and then I saw the sprayed edges, and I was like, you know what, I kind of want to get it, so I'm gonna get it because I feel like at a certain point soon the sprayed edges are probably gonna go away, and I love these sprayed edges so much. But it is Starside by Alex Astor. Again, I've heard amazing things about this book, and anything about dragons is always just like really fun for me. I did end up getting, I don't know what edition this is, might be the Indigo exclusive, or this might just be the regular deluxe edition. But what really sold me on this one, because there's so many to choose from, like I could not decide. Every edition had something cool, but I really, really love these sprayed edges on this one. I just find that the dragon sprayed edges are so cool, and I think this one was 30% off when I went to go pick it up. So anytime a book's on sale and I know that I want to get it eventually, sometimes I'll just pick it up because books are expensive nowadays, and so if there's a sale, I might as well grab it. But those are the books that I got. The trip was really fun. I had so much fun being there. I'm planning on hopefully going back once or twice more when my sister's still in Montreal to kind of just go back to all the spots that I love. But I've also been on TikTok since then, and I've also found a ton of new spots for us to try. So I want to go back and try a bunch of places. I still can't stop thinking about Bevo Pizza. If you're ever in Old Montreal, you have to go try their pizza. It was so good, and that's the first place I want to go when I go back to visit her is Bevo. Like I already told her we're going to Bevo, and then we'll go through the rest of my list of places to visit and see and food to try and everything like that later. There was also a restaurant that we went to. It was called Il Cortile, and it was an Italian place, and I had seen something about it feeling like Europe, like where it's set. The outside portion is kind of like set between buildings, and it was just like beautiful, and the food was incredible. Like I was pleasantly surprised. All in all, the trip was really fun. If you stayed till the end, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to keep up with my content, and I hope to see you in the next one.